Hello everyone, this is Deepika Patel and welcome to the SchoolQuizz class. So today we will discuss the reproduction. Okay, and in the first class of the chapter 8, we have discussed the definition of the reproduction. And so let's see what is the definition of the reproduction. The process, the process by which the living organism have the ability to produce new individuals of their own kind. Okay, or you can say of their same kind. So what is reproduction? The reproduction to the process to produce new individual of their same kind, and it is happening in the living organisms. Okay, so tell me, uh, let's quickly do the multiple choice question. Firstly, the essential life process is life process is number one. You have reproduction. Number two, you have respiration. Number three, excretion. And number four, you have 2 and 3. So I hope you are correct. Yes, the answer is 2 and 3 because the reproduction is not an essential life process. Okay, why? Because we can live without reproduction. So what is the use of the reproduction? What is the importance of the reproduction? So the importance of reproduction to the continuation of living organisms. In the first class, I have told you in detail, like if there is a population or species in the earth and they decided that they do not reproduce, the whole species, or the populations decided that they will not reproduce or they will not do the reproduction. So what will happen some after a certain time? All the population will wiped out from the earth and there will be no living beings or the living organisms. Okay, and if a particular species also decide that they will not reproduce, that they will not do the reproduction, so what will happen? This particular species, like let's say cat or dog, they decided that they will not reproduce. Okay, so what will happen a certain time? After a certain time, the whole species of the cat will wiped out in the earth, will wiped out from the earth, and this will affect other organisms too. Okay, like what does cat eat? Cat eats mouse. Okay, so the population of the mouse will be increased. Okay, and there is, so you remember the food chain and the food web. So what is happening here? This will affect all the food chain and the food web of the ecosystem. Okay, so you can relate, like if one if one part of, if one part in the environment is affected, so this will be affected to the other part also. Okay, so that's why the reproduction is important, because the continuation of the life. Okay, or living organisms. And this is not an essential life process because we can live, our body will survive without the reproduction. Okay, so if an individual decide like they will not reproduce. So it will not affect the whole species, but when whole species decide that they will not reproduce, then it will affect the whole ecosystem and the our food web and food chain. Okay, so I hope why reproduction is important is clear to us. Okay, so and here the respiration, the excretion, the digestion, and the circulatory system. So these all the systems which are very essential to our body. Okay, without this uh, without this process we cannot survive or we cannot live. Okay, so let's say what are the types of the reproduction. So reproduction is of two types, that is asexual reproduction. This is the type. Okay, so asexual reproduction and the sexual reproduction. So what is asexual reproduction? In which in which the single parent in which the single parent is involved in the reproduction process. Okay, reproduction process. And what is sexual reproduction? In which two parent involved, two parent of opposite sex, two parent involved in the reproduction process. Okay, so what are the examples of this process, sexual and asexual process? Like asexual reproduction is happened in small microorganisms. Okay, and some plants also do asexual reproduction. Okay, and sexual reproduction, human being. Okay, animals like we say cat, dog. Okay, so it is a so animals also do sexual reproduction. Okay, means two parent involved, and human beings also two parent involved. Some plants also do sexual reproduction. Okay, so these are the some examples of the sexual and asexual reproduction. So let's move with the asexual first, then one by one we will move to the sexual. Okay, because sexual is complicating process, because in this two parent is involving. Okay, complicating process, and this is a simple process. Okay, so if you have the question in the examination like say the sexual reproduction is less complex than asexual, so it is a true or false. So this question might be confusing because here is less complex than asexual reproduction. It is false. Okay, because the sexual reproduction is a complicating process and the asexual reproduction is a simple process. Okay, so let's move with the asexual one. Okay, then we will move forward to the sexual. So in the asexual reproduction there are many types, like we have fission, and in the fission also we have binary fission and the multiple fission. Binary and multiple. Okay. Then we have fragmentation. Fragmentation. Okay. Spore formation. Budding. Vegetative propagation. Okay. Just a second. So vegetative propagation. Propagation. Okay. So these are the types of the asexual reproduction. So we will start from the fission, and then one by one we will understand all those asexual reproduction. Okay. So what is fission? So the meaning of fission is breaking, breaking apart, or splitting into a parts, splitting into parts. Okay. So what is happening here? Splitting into parts. So we can understand by the name, like the binary fission. In the binary fission, there will be a parent cell. Okay. Parent cell, and from the parent cell we have only two daughter cells. So when parent cell divides, so it forms the two daughter cells. Okay. Binary means two, so there will be only two. Okay. Two daughter cells from the parent cell. And what is happening in the multiple fission? So there will be many daughter cells. So the basic difference in the binary fission and the multiple fission is, from the parent cell there will be a multiple daughter cells, or you can also say many daughter cells, many daughter cells when parent cell divides. Okay. So let's see the example of all those binary fission and the multiple fission. Okay. So you can see this is a binary fission, and this is a amoeba. So this is the example of the binary fission, amoeba, and this is the leishmania. Okay. This is also an example of the binary fission. So what is happening here? The amoeba, here you can see this is a whole amoeba and this is the parent cell amoeba. Firstly, this amoeba is a unicellular organism. Unicellular means which have a single cell. Okay. Unicellular organism. This is also a unicellular organism. So you can see the binary fission is happening in the unicellular organism. Okay. And the multiple fission is also happening in the unicellular organism. Okay. So let's say this is a amoeba, this is the parent cell, this is the original amoeba, and this is this is dividing into two amoebas. So here you can say this is breaking. Okay. And here, and in this stage there will be two daughter cells of the amoeba, cells of amoeba. So this is a full amoeba. Okay. This is a full fledged amoeba, and when it is grown up and when the reproduction comes in the stage of the amoeba, so this will also divide in the two daughter cells. Okay. The same process will be happen in the this amoeba and this amoeba also. Okay. So in the amoeba, firstly what will divide? Firstly the nucleus divide, which is contained in the cell. So nucleus, here nucleus is dividing, and in this, the here nucleus, there are two nucleus for one each amoeba. Okay, so here, so the nucleus, firstly the nucleus is dividing, then the outer part, which is the cytoplasm, is divided. Okay, so firstly the nucleus divide, and then the cytoplasm. Okay, so what is cytoplasm? Cytoplasm is the outer layer. Okay, so here you can see the example of the leishmania. Leishmania is also a unicellular organism, and from the leishmania we have the disease of the kala azar. Okay, it means the black fever, and it is happened because of the sand fly. Okay, so the sandfly. So the main reason behind this disease is leishmania. So please remember this point, because um, uh, the examiner can ask, because it is written in your NCERT book in the very short word, like in the bracket, kala azar fever, kala azar fever. So there is these are some minute minute attention you can have in your book, like in the multiple choice question, the examiner can ask the kala azar or the black fever is is happened because of the which unicellular organism, and that is the leishmania. Okay, so in the leishmania what will happen, this is the design of the leishmania organism. Okay, and it will only divide into this form, okay, so it will cannot be divided like this and this. There is a particular fraction of the organisms from which can be divided. Okay, and the amoeba is in the slightly circular form, so the circular form can be divided like this. Okay, so there is no particular fraction in the circle in the amoeba in the dividation, but in the leishmania there is a particular fraction from which the leishmania divides. Okay, so it will divide only in the vertical form as it is, as it shapes. Okay, so please remember that. So these are the minute attentions you can have, because this can be asked in your at least multiple choice questions. Okay, so please remember all those topics which I am telling you. Okay, so here you can see there is a full fledged leishmania which is divided into two. So this is one daughter cell, and this is second daughter cell, and these are the two daughter cell of the two daughter cells of the leishmania. Okay, and in the multiple fission what will happen, let's say the multiple fission example is plasmodium. Okay, plasmodium plasmodium and let's say this is a plasmodium. So in the plasmodium there will be asexual reproduction is happen in the grown stage of the plasmodium, and there will be many cells of the plasmodium will made. Okay, and it will it will sorry, so this is the many daughter cell inside the plasmodium, and when um, it breaks, then the many daughter cells will be out. Okay, so these are the example of the multiple fissions. So I hope this is clear for you, and I can make you understand completely. So if you do not understand, so please see the video again and again, and you will understand completely, I'm sure. Okay, So let's end this class here, and in the next class we will see from the next asexual reproduction, which is the fragmentation. Okay, so we will start from the fragmentation, and let's end this class here. Thank you for joining the class. Thank you again.